Hello, friend. David Ray Newby here, author of Beyond Billions and founder of Solomon Wisdom Society. Um, I want to talk to you today about what you're volunteering for. The Joker movie recently came out, and some people, I heard this phrase talking about incels, that people who are involuntarily celibate, um, young men who are angry that they don't have a partner, or the people who are inspired by Joker in the movie to do some rioting and be violent. Um, the movie, I think, touches on a couple really important themes that I related to a lot. One was fatherhood. The Joker character doesn't grow up with his father and is really looking for affirmation. And I could really relate to that. Not remembering most of my life before age 7 because I blocked that out because it was so traumatic. And um, that was with my stepdad. And then after that, um, looking for 30 years for affirmation from older men, looking for some kind of a father figure. So the movie, I think, does a really good job touching on that desire of our heart for affirmation. Um, Also, the movie deals with issues of class, and the Joker and his mom are quite poor, and his mom used to work for the Wayne family, Bruce Wayne's parents, the guy who ends up becoming Batman. So there's an element there of um, Mr. Wayne, Wayne's dad. I'm forgetting his name now. Thomas Wayne, I think, talking about people need to be responsible and not blame others for their lack of success in their life, which I agree with 100%. The movie, I think the movie deals with um, the fact that of the rise of socialism, and really, um, you don't make your life better by punishing the successful or overtaxing them or demonizing them. Um, there's enough abundance to go around, and I don't believe the pie is only so big. I think the pie is infinitely expandable. We're always finding new ways to use resources more and more effectively. But related to class and the issues of the heart, the desire for affirmation, and wanting to be successful, wanting the most out of life, wanting recognition, wanting a sense of meaning in life. I think the movie does a good job talking about that, and I want to talk about the incel thing. Um, I'm a volcel. I've been divorced for 2 years now. I'm working on reuniting with my wife. I've been voluntarily celibate these 2 years. I'm 45. A lot of people have their midlife crisis. A lot of guys doing their 40s. They want to go buy a muscle car and find some younger woman that to validate themselves. I don't blame other men for that. I mean, the desire of the heart is for validation, and I get it. What I want to encourage you is really look at your commitments and ask yourself, what are you committed to? And look at upgrading your commitments. Because for me, I come from 3 generations of murderers and the men of my family. Um, Great grandfather, grandfather, and stepdad all murdered immediate family members, spouses, kids. It's not pretty. Um, Now, I have never been in a fight in my life. I've punched my brother once and I've kicked him once. That's it. I've really learned how to deal with anger in a productive manner. Now, I've had moments where I had a crazy temper as a kid. Literally, I was showing all the signs of a serial killer in the making. The way my mom empowered me to deal with anger productively was she had me memorize every Bible verse in the Torah and the New Testament how to deal with anger productively. So let's look at their commitments. I'm committed to changing the family trajectory I'm committed to changing the legacy of my family, break that pattern of abuse and adultery and murder, and create a new pattern of affirmation and faithfulness. So what does that look like in this season of being separated from my wife? It looks like me being voluntarily celibate. So I'm not angry about that. I'm actually quite content, and so I'm committed to changing my family pattern, and how that relates to the last thing in the movie about dealing with class is people have asked me a lot. I've talked to 137 billionaires in the last year, and 17 of them one on one, and people ask me, how in the world have you talked to so many billionaires? Well, there's a lot of different factors. I like to think at extremes. I'm willing to think big. Most billionaires think at a global level. They don't think just how can they influence their city or their state. They think at a very massive level and value they can give to the marketplace. But also in terms of the biggest key besides thinking big is I've left the space in my mind for how could I best serve billionaires And I've studied the Giving Pledge and other things, and there's a whole 10-year journey from my Billionaire Club, Solomon Wisdom Society, that there's a lot of different moving parts and a lot of research. We did over $1 million of development with the program. So I won't get into all of those details, but the biggest key that you can apply in your life, you don't need, if you have no interest in interacting with billionaires, no problem. Most people don't. What you can apply right now is the other big key, besides me thinking differently and doing a lot of research and believing things are possible, is I've released the fear of embarrassment. And for a long time, I was embarrassed for people to know how messed up the family I come from is. And so as I released that, as I realized I am not my family, and every day I am leaving a new legacy, that really gave me a sense of freedom. And also, I figured out how I could talk about my family and still protect other people's privacy, and mainly focus on my own journey and what I've learned and what I experienced, and not say other people's names, and find that and solution. I can tell my story and honor family members' desire for privacy. So I want to encourage you, release any fear of embarrassment you have about people thinking less of you, of people judging you because of how much wealth you have, or what country you come from, or your race, or your economic status, or any of those things. Who you are is at a heart level, and anybody, I believe, can give value to anybody if they are effective, if they research the person, if they really look to add value in that interaction. And that's how I've talked to so many billionaires in the last few years, and that's very much accelerating because I'm releasing that fear of embarrassment. I'm just focusing on serving the other person. So I would encourage you, look at your commitments. Do look to play a big game. Let go of fear of embarrassment, and you can make a big impact. And it doesn't have to be in a violent way like the Joker. You can leave a positive impact, a massive impact in a positive way, just dealing with these deep heart issues. So I encourage you, leave me some feedback. Let me know what resonated with you in this video. Could be about family relationships, could be about what your commitments are, how you see yourself. And I look forward to talking to you soon. God bless you, friends. Shalom. Bye for now.